Hey everybody, I don't know who's here or not, so sorry I am a little bit late. I was thinking I had all this time, and then I got up here and I realized that my internet was not plugged in. So I had to go downstairs and I had to take care of that. And isn't that just life, right? Things aren't as we expect and we have to kind of ebb and flow, right? It's good to have the plan and let go of the plan. And so I had a couple stretches in mind for us today to warm up the spine and to target the hips, right? So I would like to move the spine, but sometimes we have these tight muscles around in our hips that prevent us from extending and flexing the spine how we want. So first I'm going to show you a stretch that will help work into the hips. And the reason I love this stretch is because you can do it in a chair, you can do it sitting on a couch, you can do it laying on your back. You can do it sitting on the floor. It's really versatile. And I don't claim to be a physical therapist or someone with a deep knowledge, like a doctor or a chiropractor. But when I am in the chiropractic office, I would say 9 times out of 10, I hear the chiropractor saying to patients, oh, have you tried this stretch or have you tried this stretch? And that stretch is the figure 4. So I'm going to show you what that is right now. So you can't see, I'm sitting on a little stool here and I've got my feet on the floor. And what I'm going to do is bend my knee out to the side and go ahead and cross my ankle over the opposite thigh. Right? Depending on how low your seat is or how high your seat is will make this more intense or less intense. So if when you first crossed over, your knee didn't like it, it was too much for your hip, go up and make your seat a little bit higher. You could choose a bar stool. If you're on the couch, you could sit on the little armchair section of the couch, or maybe just toss a pillow underneath your bottom or a book, right, if you're at work. And then so you'll notice when you do that, right, the hips are tight, and so the spine will kind of round back and flex a little bit when you first come into this. So if you're able to, attempt to sit up nice and tall, maybe even bring your hands to help kind of press down into your foot and your leg. Right? We always kind of use that gauge, never do anything that hurts us. So if it's a hurts so good, that's okay. If it's pain, maybe not. Right? And then if these yoga poses, right, was like gardening, then breath would be our spade, right, to go deeper. So we'll take a few mindful breaths here. And we won't do the pose too long because this is a quick stretch break. But you might do this at your own time, you know, when you're sending an email, when you're talking on the phone, when you're watching television, you know, you could do this up to 5 minutes on one side. All right, so we'll go ahead and switch. You could kind of help guide that first leg back down to the floor. And then we'll do the second side. The knee bends. We bring the opposite angle to the hip. Now maybe you can even tell this is obviously my tighter side, right? You see how my knee's kind of working its way up. So I could make the choice to spend a little bit longer on whatever side was tighter. If you're finding that the second side is feeling more open, then, you know, when we're done, maybe you go back to that first side for a few more breaths. You don't have to, just an idea. And then we'll come back to that mindful breathing. As you breathe in, just imagine your inhale is filling up the area of your body that we're targeting, right? The area of the body where you feel your sensation. For the last few breaths, see if you can sit up nice and tall. You can even hold on to that shin and that ankle to help keep the spine nice and long. And then we'll come out of the second side. Great. Okay, so figure 4 stretch. That was our first one. The second one is a little bit of a spinal twist. So I'll go ahead and take my right hand and I'll reach over to my left thigh. I'll bring my left hand behind me. If you were sitting with a chair with a back on it or the back of the couch, that hand could maybe hold on to the back. And then you'll sit up nice and tall. Imagine your head over your shoulders, over your hips. And then we'll gaze over that left shoulder. And let's do 5 breaths here. And then slowly release and unwind. And then we'll go to the other side. The left hand, reaches over for the right leg. The right hand tense behind us. We sit up nice and tall first and gaze over that right shoulder. Okay, untwist. Hands on thighs. Now we're going to take a seated version of cat-cow, which can be really nice. Right? Imagine this is your spine, right? We'll bring our spine into a little bit of a back bend and then a little bit of a fold. A little bit of back bend, a little bit of fold, right? So extension and flexion. So you might not be able to see from facing forward, but what I'll do is on my inhale, I'll lift my heart, I'll look up slightly, pull my shoulder blades together towards the center of my spine. And then on my exhale, I'll round my back, maybe tuck my chin, like my spine is reaching to the chair behind me. Inhale, back bend, look up, shoulders together. Exhale, round, shoulders forward, tuck chin. Now keep going, maybe 2 or 3 more times with your own breath. And then we'll come back to neutral. All right, now we're gonna do a forward fold hang. When I go into this forward fold, you won't see me much. Here, maybe I'll scoot back a little bit so you can see me, right? So what you'll do, whatever chair you're sitting at, you'll bring your knees nice and wide so you create some space for your body to hang. I love this version of forward fold because with the knees bent, it can be a little bit softer on the lower back, which is great for folks with back problems. If you're sitting in a stool, a high stool, your feet don't come to the ground, be a little cautious here. You want to feel nice and secure, right? And to be even a little bit more cautious, hands will come to thighs. So we support our weight as we come forward. Depending on how your spine is feeling, you could stop here. Maybe you tuck the chin and let the head go. If it feels okay and you want to go even lower, the hands could hang or touch down to the ground. Now I want you to imagine yourself a stegosaurus or dinosaur, right, with those big kind of spikes on the spine. And imagine with each inhale that your breath is just filling up and slaying those spikes. Support your spine as you come back to neutral. Great. All right, so that's the stretching. And then we're just gonna wrap up with a little bit of mindfulness. And so this really quick, easy style of meditation I love because it's easy, it's simple, but it's very, very strong. So this type of meditation or mindfulness involves counting. And it seems really simple. It seems almost too basic to even spend time on it, right? Anybody can count. A child can count. But the power of counting in our mind is that when we're focused on our counts with our breath, whatever else has been plaguing our mind all day, right, it kind of interrupts those thoughts. So it can be a really strong form of mental medicine when, there's just a lot circulating in our brain, right? Let's face it, 2020 has been like that for most of us. So just get into a nice comfortable seat. You could focus your gaze to one spot, right? If you're looking at the screen and you want to keep your eyes open, maybe choose something that's not moving, right? Something that's not me. If it feels okay, close your eyes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our awareness to our breath. And then we're going to count only our inhales. So every inhale, you'll say to yourself 1. And on the second inhale, you'll say 2. And we'll keep going with this all the way up till 10. And you'll be how surprised sometimes the thoughts come in and you forget what number you're on. That's okay. Just choose whatever last number you remember. In no rush, but when you get to 10, we'll count our inhales back from 10 down to 1. Let's do that. And maybe I'm done before you. Maybe my breath was a little bit faster than your cycle. That's okay. You keep going. Right? And so if you ever have more time, what you can do after you count your inhales 1 to 10 and count your inhales 10 to 1, you can switch to exhales. You can count your exhales 1 to 10 and your exhales 10 to 1. And usually with an easy flowing breath, that'll be about a 5-minute meditation. It's really perfect. It could be a little bit longer if your mind drifts and then you kind of come back and remember that you're counting. But again, really strong medicine to just help bring our focus back to the present moment. So thanks very much for tuning in. I'll try not to be late next time. And namaste. Have a great rest of your day and a good weekend. Bye-bye.